Ready? Okay. Reading, this is something from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 20. And it is a summary of this chapter 20, which is Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructing Sanatana Goswami in the science of the absolute truth. So, the following summary study of this chapter is given by Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Amrita Pravaha Bhasya. When Sri Chaitanya Goswami was imprisoned by Nawab Hussain Shah, he received news from Rupa Goswami that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had gone to Mathura. Sanatana Goswami thereafter satisfied the superintendent of the jail by sweet solicitations and bribery. After giving the jailer 7,000 gold coins, Sanatana Goswami was released. He then crossed the Ganges and fled. One of his servants, Ishan, followed him, carrying 8 gold coins. Sanatana Goswami and his servant then spent the night in a small hotel on the way to Benares. The hotel owner knew that Sanatana Goswami and his servant had 8 gold coins. And he decided to kill them and take the money. Making plans in this way, the hotel owner received them as honorable guests. Sanatana Goswami, however, asked his servant how much money had he left. And taking 7 of the gold coins, Sanatana offered them to the hotel owner. Thus the owner helped them reach the hilly tract toward Varanasi, Varanasi. On the way, Sri Chaitanya met his brother-in-law, Shrikanta and Hijapura. And Shrikanta helped him after. And Shrikanta helped him after he had heard about Sanatana's troubles. Thus, Sanatana Goswami finally arrived at Varanasi and stood before the door of Chandrakesh Hara. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called him in and ordered him to change his dress so that he could look like a gentleman. For this garment he used an old cloth of Tapana Misras. Later he exchanged his valuable blanket for a torn quilt. At this time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased with him, and thus Sanatana Goswami received knowledge of the absolute truth from the Lord himself. First, they discussed the constitutional position of the living entities, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained to Sanatana Goswami how the living entity is one of Lord Krishna's energies. After this, the Lord explained the way of devotional service. He explained the way of devotional service. While discussing the absolute truth, Sri Krishna, the Lord, analyzed Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan, as well as the expansions of the Lord called Shayam Rupa, Tad Ekma, and Vishesha, which are divided into various branches known as Vaibhav and Prabhava. Thus the Lord described the many forms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He also described the incarnations of God within the material world, incarnations such as Purusha avatars, Manvatara avatars, Guna avatars, and Shakshavesh avatars. The Lord also discussed the divisions of Krishna's different ages, such as Balya, Pauganda, and the different pastimes of the different ages. He explained how Krishna attained his permanent form when he reached youth. In this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained and described everything to Sanatana Goswami. Okay, so now we're going on to text 1. Which is, I'll say now. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who has unlimited, wonderful opulences. By his mercy, even a person born of the lowest of men can spread the science of devotional service. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Nityananda Prabhu, all glories to Advaita Acharya, and all glories to the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. While Sanatana Goswami was imprisoned in Bengal, a letter arrived from Sri Rupa Goswami. This is the purport. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur informs us that this letter from Rupa Goswami to Sanatana Goswami is mentioned by the annotator of Udbhata Chandrika. Sri Rupa Goswami wrote a note to Sanatana Goswami from Bakla. This note indicated that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was coming to Mathura, and it stated, "Where has Mathura Puri of Yadupati gone? Where is the northern Kosala of Raghupati gone? By reflection, make my mind steady, thinking, this universe is not eternal." When Sanatana Goswami received this note from Rupa Goswami, he became very pleased. He immediately went to the jail superintendent, who was a meat eater, and spoke as follows. Sanatana Goswami told the Mohammedan jailkeeper, "Dear sir, you are a saintly person. You are very fortunate. You have full knowledge of the revealed scriptures, such as the Quran and similar books. If one releases a conditioned soul or imprisoned person according to the religious principles, he himself is also released from the material bondage by the Supreme Personality of Godhead." It appears from this statement that Sanatana Goswami, who was formerly a minister of the Nawab...
Sorry, Didi, 1 second.
Oh, my head.
Sorry, I have a clip.
No, I'll do it, Didi.
Yeah.
I'll put it behind my ear.
Because
okay?
we can't see you.
All right. And if one receives... I'll read that again, if I may. If one releases a conditioned soul or imprisoned person according to religious principles, he himself is also released from material bondage by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It appears from this statement that Sanatana Goswami, who was formerly a minister of the Nawab, was trying to cheat the Mohammedan superintendent. A jail superintendent had only an ordinary education, but practically no education, and he was certainly not supposed to be very advanced in spiritual knowledge. However, just to satisfy him, Sanatana Goswami praised him as a very learned scholar of the scriptures. The jailkeeper could not deny that he was a learned scholar of the scriptures. Maharaj. The jailkeeper could not deny that he was a learned scholar of the scriptures. The jailkeeper could... am I reading that twice or 3 times now? The jailkeeper could not deny. He definitely could not deny a learned scholar of the scriptures. It says, and Madhusudan appeared in the doorway and distracted me. He is still in the doorway. I'm Maharaj.
Instead of assisting Seva, I'm resisting Seva.
Okay. So Sanatana Goswami was correctly explaining the effects of that position. Sanatana Goswami was... I'm reading that again. Correctly explaining, naughty Madhusudan appearing, explaining the effects of spiritual activity. And the jailkeeper connected this statement with his release from jail. There are innumerable conditioned souls rotting in the material world, imprisoned by Maya under the spell of sense gratification. The living entity is so entranced by the spell of Maya that in the conditioned life, even a pig feels satisfied. There are 2 kinds of covering powers exhibited by Maya. One is called Prakshipatmika, and the other is called Avanaratmika. When one is determined to get out of material bondage, This Prakesh Matmika Shakti, the spell of division, impels one to remain in a conditioned and fully satisfied sense of gratification. Due to overpower of avaranatmika, a conditioned soul feels satisfied even if he is rotting in the body of a pig or a worm. To release the conditioned soul from material bondage is very difficult because the spell of Maya is so strong. Even when the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself descends to deliver conditioned souls, asking them to surrender to him, the conditioned souls do not agree to the Lord's proposals. Therefore, Sri Sanatana Goswami said, somehow or other, if one helps another gain release from the bondage of Maya, he is certainly recognized immediately by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita. The greatest... Excuse me. I beg your pardon. One. The greatest service one can render to the Lord is to try to infuse devotional service into the heart of the conditioned soul, so that the conditioned soul may be released from conditional life. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has said that a Vaishnava is recognized by his preaching work, that is, by convincing the conditioned soul about the eternal position, which is explained here in the Nija Dhamma. It is the living entity's eternal position to serve the Lord. Therefore, to help one get release from material bondage is to awaken one to the dormant understanding that he is the eternal servant of Krishna, Jivera Swarupahaya, Krishnera Nityadasa. This will be further explained by the Lord himself to Sanatana Goswami. Sanatana Goswami continued, previously I have done much for you. Now I am in difficulty. Please return my goodwill by releasing me. Here the 5,000 gold coins. Here are 5,000 gold coins. Please accept them. By releasing me, you will receive the results of pious activities and gain material profit as well. Thus you will profit in two ways simultaneously. In this way, Sanatana Goswami convinced the jailkeeper, who replied, please hear me, my dear sir. I am willing to release you, but I am afraid of the government. Ooh. Sanatana replied, there is no danger. The Nawab has gone south. If he returns, tell him that Sanatana went to pass stool near the bank of the Ganges, and that as soon as he saw by the Ganges, and that as soon as he saw the Ganges, he jumped in. Tell him, I looked for him a long time, but I could not find any trace of him. He jumped in with his shackles, and therefore he is drowned and washed away by the waves. There is no reason for you to be afraid. I shall not remain in this country. I shall become a mendicant and go to the holy city of Mecca. Sanatana Goswami could see that the mind of the meat-eater was still not satisfied. Then he stacked 7,000 gold coins before him. When the meat-eater saw the coins, he was attracted to them. He then agreed, and at that night he cut Sanatana's shackles and let him cross the Ganga. In this way, Sanatana Goswami was released. However, he was not able to walk along the path of the fortress. Walking day and night, he finally arrived at the hilly tract of land known as Patada. After reaching Patada, he met a landholder and submissively requested him to get him across that hilly tract of land. A man who was expert in palmistry was at that time staying with the landlord. Knowing about Sanatan, he whispered the following to the landlord's ear. The palmist said, "This man, Sanatan, possesses 8 gold coins." Fixated on the 8 gold coins. Hearing this, the Lord was very pleased and spoke the following to Sanatan Goswami. The Lord said, "I shall get you across that hilly tract of land at night with my own men." Now, the landlord said, this was the landlord who spoke this, "I shall get you across the hilly tract of land at night with my own men. Now, just take your lunch. And cook for yourself." Okay. Saying this, the landlord offered Sanatan grains to cook. Sanatan then went to the riverside and took his bath. Because Sanatan had been fasting for 2 days, he cooked the food and ate it. However, having formerly been a minister of the Nawab, he began to contemplate the situation. As the former minister of the Nawab, Sanatan could certainly understand diplomacy, and he thought, therefore, why is this landlord offering me such respect? Thinking in this way, he questioned his servant, whose name was Ishan. Sanatan asked his servant, "Ishan, I think you have some valuable things with you." Ishan replied, Yes, I have 7 gold coins." Hearing this, Sanatan Goswami chastised his servant, saying, "Why have you brought this death knell with you?" Thereupon Sanatan Goswami took the 7 gold coins in his hand and went to the landlord. Holding the gold coins before him, he spoke as follows. "I have these 7 gold coins with me. Please accept them, and from a religious point of view, please get me across the hilly tract of land. I am a prisoner of the government, and I cannot go along all the way of the ramparts. It will be very pious of you to take this money and kindly get me across this hilly tract of land." Smiling, the Lord said, "Before you offered them, I already knew that there were 8 gold coins in your servant's possession." 8 gold coins. "Only this very night I would have killed you and taken your coins. It is very good that you have voluntarily offered them to me, and now I have relieved you from such sinful activity. I am very satisfied with your behavior. I shall not accept these gold coins, but I shall get you across the hilly tract of land simply to perform pious activity." Sanatan Goswami replied, "If you do not accept these coins, someone else will kill me for them. It is better that you save me from the danger by accepting the gold coins." After this settlement was made, the landlord gave Sanatan Goswami 4 watchmen to accompany him. They went through the forest path for the whole night, and thus brought him over the hilly tract of land. After crossing the hill, Sanatan Goswami told his servant, "Ishan, I think you still have some balance left from the gold coins." Ishan replied, "I still have 1 gold coin in my possession." Sanatan Goswami then said, "Take the coin and return to your home." After departing from Ishan, Sanatan Goswami began travelling alone with his water pot in his hand, simply covered with a torn quilt. He thus lost his anxiety. Walking and walking, Sanatan Goswami finally arrived at a place called Hajipur. That evening he sat down within a garden. In Hajipur there was a gentleman called Srikanta, who happened to be the husband of Sanatan Goswami's sister. He was engaged there in government service. Srikanta had 300,000 gold coins with him, which had been given to him by the emperor for the purchase of horses. Thus Srikanta was buying horses and dispatching them to the emperor. With great care, Sanatan gave him a wooden blanket and helped him cross the Ganges. Have I missed a page? All right. With great care, Srikanta gave him a woolen blanket and helped him cross the Ganges. Thus Sanatana Goswami departed again. After a few days, Sanatana Goswami arrived at Varanasi. He was very pleased to hear that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had arrived. Sanatana Goswami then went to the house of Chandrakeshara and sat down by the door. Understanding what was happening, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke to Chandrakeshara. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "There is a devotee at your door. Please call him in." Going outside, Chandrakeshara could see the Vaishnava at his door. When Chandrakeshara informed the Lord that no Vaishnava was at his door, the Lord asked him, "Is there anyone at your door at all?" Chandrakeshara replied, "There is a Muslim mendicant." And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately said, "Please bring him in." Chandrakeshara then spoke to Sanatana Goswami, who was still standing beside the door. "O Muslim mendicant, please come in. The Lord is calling you." Sanatana Goswami was very pleased to hear this order, and he entered Chandrakeshara's house. As soon as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw Sanatana Goswami in the courtyard, he immediately went up to him with great haste, embracing the Lord, praising him. The Lord was overwhelmed with ecstatic love. As soon as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu touched Sanatana Goswami, Sanatana was so overwhelmed with ecstatic love, in faltering voice he said, "Oh my Lord, do not touch me." Shoulder to shoulder, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sanatana Goswami began to cry unlimitedly. Chandrakeshara was very astonished to see this. Catching his hand, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took Sanatana Goswami inside and made him sit in an elevated place next to him. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began cleansing Sanatana Goswami's body with his own transcendental hand, Sanatana Goswami said, "Oh my Lord, please do not touch me." The Lord replied, "I am touching you just to purify myself, because by force of your devotional service you can purify the whole universe. Saints of your Kalabab are themselves places of pilgrimage. Because of their purity, they are constant companions of the Lord, and therefore they can purify even the places of pilgrimage." There's a purport here. This verse was spoken by Maharaj Yudhishthira to Vidura in Srimad Bhagavatam. Vidura was returning home after visiting sacred places of pilgrimage, and Maharaj Yudhishthira was receiving his saintly uncle in presence. Maharaj Yudhishthira was saying, "My Lord Vidura, can't see now. My dear Lord Vidura, you yourself are a holy place because you are an advanced devotee. People like you always carry Lord Vishnu in their hearts. You can revitalize all holy places after they have been polluted by the pilgrimage of sinners. A sinner person goes to the holy place of pilgrimage to be purified. In a holy place there are so many saintly people and temples of Lord Vishnu. However, the holy place becomes infected with the sins of many visitors. When an advanced devotee goes to a holy place, he counteracts all the sins of the pilgrims. Therefore, Maharaj Yudhishthira addressed Vidura in this way. Since an advanced devotee carries Lord Vishnu within his heart, he is a moving temple and a moving Vishnu. An advanced devotee does not need to go to the holy place, for wherever he stays is a holy place. In this connection, Narottama Das Thakur states, Tirtha Yatra Parishrama Kevalam Manera Brahma. Visiting the holy places is simply another type of bewilderment. Since an advanced devotee does not need to go to a holy place, why does he go? The answer is that he goes simply to purify the place. Wow.
Can you read that verse?
Again?
The one that you read before? Not the purport.
The one I read before? Excuse me. Saints of your caliber are themselves places of pilgrimage. Because of their purity, they are constant companions of the Lord, and therefore they can even purify the places of pilgrimage. Even though a person is a very learned scholar of the Sanskrit Vedic literatures, he is not accepted as a devotee unless he is pure and in devotional service. However, even though a person is born in a family of dog-eaters, he is very dear to me if he is a pure devotee who has no motive to enjoy fruitive activity or mental speculation. Indeed, all respect should be given to him, and whatever he offers should be accepted. Such devotees are as worshipable as I am. In this verse, it's included.
You already read that purport.
Did I?
So maybe we can stop
Oh,
there.
did I? One may be born in a Brahmana family and have all 12 Brahminical qualities. But if he is not devoted to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, who has a navel shaped like a lotus, he is not as good as a Chandala, who has dedicated his mind, words, activities, wealth, and life in the service of the Lord. Simply to take birth in a Brahmin family or to have Brahminical qualities is not sufficient. One may become a pure devotee of the Lord. One must become a pure devotee of the Lord. If a Spapaka or Chandala is a devotee, he delivers not only himself but his whole family, whereas a Brahmana who is not a devotee is simply has Brahminical qualification, cannot even purify himself, what to speak of his family.
Didi, we can stop there.
Okay.
Is that finished? Is that the end of the purport? Is it? Is it the end of the purport?
There is another purport.
No, I mean what you just read. Is there more?
That was a verse.
Oh, no, that was the verse. That was the verse. I thought underneath that was another purport.
It's a little verse. It's a little purport. Yeah, there's a tiny purport there.
You want me to read that?
Well, then it goes on to the next page, so I might as well.
Yeah, maybe tomorrow.
Next time.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Mañana.
Okay.
Mañana. Well, pardon me. Pardon me. Jai Gurudev. Can I say? It's so moving, you know. They are, you know. It's like, what to say? Jai Gurudev. There's nothing left to say. Jai Gurudev. Oh.
Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai, Madhya Lila chapter 20.
Chapter 20.
Madhya Lila. The Lord instructs Sanatana Goswami ki Jai. Do you
Jai.
want to chant Hare Hare Ramakrishna?
Yes, I know it, but I better check in case I we're 60 something, isn't it? 60.
Page 60.
Page 60. I can't even see now. I can't see. Okay. This walk. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Hare Nama Krishna Jadavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan.
Gopala Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan.
Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan.
Giridhari Gopinath Namaha.
Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra.
Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra.
Shivasadi Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta
Jaya Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunatha Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath Echai Gosai Kori Charana Vandana Yaha Haite Bignanas Avishta Puran Echai Gosai Yara Muritara Dasa Tasavara Padarenu Mora Panchagrasa Tadara Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanivasa Janame More Abhilas Echai Gosai Jave Braja Kaila Vasa Radha Krishna Nicharila Korila Prakash Anande Bolo Hari Braja Vrindavan Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Madhyaman Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Madhva Khatma Koriyasa Khatma Koriyas Harinama Sankirtana Kohe Narottamadas Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Hare Krishna Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Hari Hari Bol. I'm looking, I saw you looking, are you hungry? You're looking, of course it's Ekadasi today, anyway. It's Ekadasi. So. Jai.